Welcome to Into the Night. I'm Nari, your guide on today's excursion down a twisted path. Be careful not to get lost. Be it dark or light, it's easy to lose your way. Are you ready? Then let's begin. How does your garden grow? Part 2. The next morning, Mary drove to the large do-it-yourself store and picked out the materials she'd need. She arranged delivery for the next day and headed home to prep the ground for the first leg of the path. Between frequent checks on her mother, Mary set to work. She hadn't told Colleen about her idea yet. I want to see how long it takes before I get her hopes up too soon. It might take a while to finish. Mom will eventually see me out here working through the window, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. It was hot, dirty work, but Mary didn't mind. She felt driven. She needed to make this happen for her mother. The next day, the paving stones, sand, and other materials arrived. She splurged and bought decorative yet natural-looking stones for the path. As she surveyed the load, she was pleased with how the pavers looked. Beautiful, functional, durable. These were a great choice, if I do say so myself. Every day, Mary made progress. Before too long, she was within sight of Colleen through the bedroom window. Stepping back inside the house, Mary heard the tinkling of the bell. Yes, Mama? What are you up to outside? I saw you doing something out there. Are you building a flower bed? Mary sat on the bed and held Colleen's hand. No, but I do have a project going that I think you're going to like. Colleen adjusted herself in bed. I'm sure I'd like anything you did. What did you have in mind? Mary filled Colleen in on her plans, and her mother's face lit up. Oh, honey, that's an awful lot of work. You're amazing. I think it will do you good to make trips outside. It will be wonderful. And thank you for making the Basswood Tree the first stop on the trail. Colleen wiped happy tears from her eyes. Now that her mother knew of her plans, Mary was even more motivated to make the path a reality. It was exhausting physical labor, and some days she couldn't accomplish much because her job demanded her full attention, but she continued making progress. Colleen watched with anticipation through the bedroom window. Finally, Mary's footpath reached the Basswood Tree. She walked inside and went directly to Colleen's room. Mama, are you ready to go for a ride? Her mother beamed. Am I ever? Let's take some sandwiches and drinks. We'll make a picnic out of it. I love that idea. Mary helped her mother into the wheelchair and pushed her through the house and into the kitchen. After packing a basket of goodies to take with them, the two made their way out of the house, down the ramp, and onto the newly constructed path. Colleen clapped her hands together. I'm as giddy as a schoolgirl. Mary patted her shoulder and said, You're looking better already, Mama. Fresh air and sunshine never hurt anybody. They stopped momentarily to look at the flower gardens. Then they continued on their way to the Basswood Tree. Mary parked the wheelchair under the basswood near the swing. Colleen looked up at the canopy of leaves above her and outstretched her hand towards a branch. Mary knew what her mother wanted. She grasped the low-hanging branch and pulled it down so Colleen could touch the leaves. Her mother grasped the leaves and held them to her cheek. She then kissed a leaf and quietly said, Hello, my dear old friend. I've missed you so much. A tear trickled down her cheek, but her smile was of pure joy. Colleen gently released the branch and it bobbed up and down above her. A breeze twirled the leaves on the tree and the two women laughed in delight. It feels glorious to be outside again, Mary. We will do this every day, Mama. Are you hungry? You know I am. I've barely felt like eating lately, but suddenly I'm starving. Let's see what all you packed for us. Mary spread the contents of the basket out. Let's see, we have ham and Swiss sandwiches, sweet pickles, chips, and cobbler. She then pulled 2 cold lemonades from the basket. The two women ate, talked, laughed, and breathed in the beauty of the day. Birds sang in the trees above them, and butterflies and honeybees flitted from wildflower to wildflower in the field around them. Mary watched her mother regain some of the vibrancy she had in the past. Seeing her mother's decline in recent years was an ache in Mary's heart. Colleen suffered bouts of depression as her ability to live fully decreased, and Mary had struggled not to let her own fears be too obvious for her mother. It's not been easy realizing I'm not able to be me anymore, Mary. I know, Mama. You look wonderful today, though. I feel wonderful. This is the best medicine you could have given me. This is just the beginning. I'll keep expanding the path, and we'll come out here as often as you want to. You know, under this tree is my favorite spot on this land. It's special to me. I've missed it. You don't have to miss it any longer. These limbs have watched over us through good times and bad. They sat in silence, watching the trees sway and the grasses blow in the breeze. Finally, Colleen needed rest, however. I'm getting sleepy, and I think it's time for my meds. Of course, we can go in. But I want to come out tomorrow. Colleen looked up at the basswood. I'll be back to see you, my friend. She turned to look at the tree one more time as Mary pushed the wheelchair down the path to their farmhouse. Each day, the women set aside time to sit under the basswood tree. The change in Colleen was noticeable. Suddenly, the world seemed brighter and refreshed. Mama, I think even the flowers in the garden are looking more vibrant these days. They aren't the only ones either. You're getting color back in your cheeks and you're eating more. Thanks to you getting me outside. I was literally dying before. Now I think I'll put that off for a while longer. She gave her daughter a warm smile. Weeks went by, and sometimes they took strolls farther out as the path grew. But their favorite spot was under the tree. Colleen sat in her wheelchair while Mary lounged in the bench swing. One day, Mary's cell phone rang while they were on an outing. Yes, hello? Mary's face fell and she whispered to her mother. It's work. They need me to send them the Meyer proposal. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Go on. I'm going to stay here. I'll be fine. Are you sure? Yes. Now go take care of business. Half an hour later, Mary returned. She stopped in horror when she saw the empty wheelchair. Mama? Mama, I'm coming! She raced to the basswood tree and stopped in her tracks once she arrived there. Mama! You're standing. How? I don't really know. Isn't it wonderful? Mary stared in disbelief. I was sitting in my wheelchair talking to our tree friend, and something told me to stand. I didn't at first, but it told me to stand. And I did. Mary rushed to hug her mother. Mama, this is incredible. You haven't walked in at least a year. I've felt better and stronger ever since we started our daily walks. I not only feel better, I am better. How long have you been standing? Oh, 10 or 15 minutes. It feels good to walk on the grass and to touch the bark on a tree again. Mary, I don't understand it any more than you do, but I'm better. Tears trickled down their faces. Let's not wear you out. I think this is enough excitement for one day. She helped Colleen back into her chair. Before they left for the house, though, they turned and stared at the basswood tree. The sun was setting on the horizon, and the branches were outlined in hues of pinks, purples, and reds. Mary patted Colleen's shoulder, and her mother's hand met hers with a squeeze. That evening, Mary sat with Colleen in her room. Mama, this is nothing short of a miracle. Colleen sat quietly for a moment. I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's the plants. The tree, but also look at the plants in my room. Mary, as I've grown healthier, so have they. Look at the ivy plant. Its leaves were yellow and sickly. Now they're green and glossy. And look at the others. The orchids have been blooming. They haven't done that in ages. Mary took a good look around. Mama's right. The plants are thriving, just like she is. I can't explain it, Mary, but I think the plants are saving me. I don't understand it either, Mama, but something wonderful is happening. You have an appointment with Dr. Wilson on Tuesday. Let's see what he says. But I think we need to keep our suspicions about the plants between just the two of us. Oh, lands, yes, girl. They'd be locking us up and throwing away the key. I agree. While I feel better, let's see what the test results say about me. They should have those within a few days after my appointment. Yes, we will find out if the doctor sees the same improvement we do. Colleen gently held a branch of her philodendron. Good night, my little friends. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. I love you all. Mary stood in the doorway. Yes, thank you. She turned off the light and quietly shut the door. The two continued to make their daily trips to the Basswood Tree, and each day Colleen stood a little longer and walked a little more. Mary, I practically feel like a kid again. Colleen looked upward and smiled at the bright blue sky. As long as I keep getting better, I'd like to start working in the flower gardens again. Oh, that would be so much fun. Some of my best childhood memories are of us working in the flower beds. My little Nari Kwak contrary. Colleen laughed. We still aren't sure how your garden grows. It must be those silver bells and cockle shells. It must be, but I'm not going to ask too many questions. All I know is that our plants are thriving, and I'm thriving. On Tuesday, Mary drove Colleen to her appointment. Hello, Mary. How have you been? They exchanged their greetings and the doctor began his exam. How have you been feeling, Colleen? She looked at Mary and then back at the doctor. Actually, I've been feeling great. He listened to her heart. He took her blood pressure. Could you put that into English, please? Oh, yes, sorry, I'm just puzzled. Your vitals are surprisingly good. Like I said, I'm feeling much better lately. You certainly appear to be. I'll have the nurse draw blood. We're also going to take a few x-rays. We'll have those results on Thursday. I'm renewing your prescriptions, and I want to see you back here right away if there's a problem with the test results. Yes, of course. The waiting game began. On Thursday, Dr. Wilson called her. I've got your test results in, and there are some irregularities. I'd like you to come by my office this afternoon so I can take a look at you again. Mary saw fear pass through her mother's eyes as she hung up the phone. Mama, what did he say? He said there were irregularities in my test results, and that he wants to talk to me about it this afternoon at 1:30. What kind of irregularities? He didn't say. I feel better than I have in years. I don't think this is all in my head. I don't think so either, so don't panic. Let's see what he has to say. At 1:30, Dr. Wilson rapped on the door to exam room 3, where Colleen and Mary anxiously awaited him. Come in, they said. Dr. Wilson walked in and sat down on the stool by the exam table. He gave them a kind smile. He looked at the chart and hesitated to speak. Yes, Dr. Wilson. Is there bad news? No. It's not bad news. Perplexing news, but not bad news. That's why I wanted to meet with you today. The women stared at him in silent anticipation. I don't understand any of this, and I had the lab double-check their results. But your tests came back normal. Normal for me, or actually normal? Actually normal. Your white count is normal, your blood salts and kidney functions are normal, your liver function is perfect, and the x-rays showed no trace of any tumors. I want to run an MRI to look more closely, but according to these results I'm holding, you're healthy. I don't understand it, but that's what the numbers say. Mary and Colleen hugged each other. I knew it. I knew I felt better. Mama, do you want to show him what you can do? Dr. Wilson raised his eyebrows. Yes, watch what I've been doing for the past week or so. She stood. His mouth opened, but no words escaped him. Finally, he said, My God, it's a miracle, Colleen. You had no more than 6 months to live the last time I saw you. You were bedridden. This is incredible. Isn't it? Mary made me a path to take me around our place in my wheelchair. It must be the fresh air because I felt better every day since then. I seldom like to be wrong, ladies, but in this instance, I'm glad my prognosis for you was mistaken. This kind of improvement only happens once or twice in a career. I'm ordering the MRI, but I really do think you're healthy again." The women left the office elated. To celebrate, they went to their favorite Italian restaurant. Colleen ate every bite of her meal and had a slice of cheesecake for dessert. In the coming days, the MRI showed no sign of tumors, and Colleen's strength grew steadily. Now she was able to walk to the Basswood Tree where she and Mary sat in the swing and enjoyed the presence of the living world around them. Looking up at the canopy made by the lovely tree, Colleen said, "I don't know how you did this, but you saved my life. You and your plant friends." The tree's leaves fluttered, even though there was no wind. "Thank you for saving my mama. We both loved you our whole lives, and you have given us a gift we didn't dream was possible." The leaves fluttered again. That night, as Colleen slept soundly in her bed, a beam of light came through the window and illuminated the rubber tree plant. The other plants in the room swayed and bobbed. The philodendron reached out to Colleen and gently wrapped itself around her hand. In the yard, a beam also fell on the basswood tree. It danced and moved its branches like the arms of a symphony conductor. In the sky, the beam met the light of a star that twinkled brightly. The basswood tree was here as a faithful and loving servant. Spread goodness. Give love when love is received. Make a difference here on earth. And so it did. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Into the Night Anthology podcast. Written by Caroline Giamanco, narrated by Nari Kwak. Theme music by Nico Rodriguez. All other original music, sound design, and editing by Omenhawk Studios. You can find our links in the show notes. Into the Night is on your favorite podcatcher, so make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review to help other excursionists to join us. I'll see you next time. And remember, whether in the shadows or in the daylight, all twisted paths lead you into the night. Into the Night Anthology is a Creative Typo Entertainment production.